the strike. This week is because I'm sick, and I think I have a burial. We wouldn't have even done this class today. I have a funeral that I'm supposed to attend at home. So I have someone who is sleeping as we speak today. Um, but your interest first, so that I can be able to give you what you deserve. I would have left last week, but then I had to do some plans for the body to be transported and other things. So it's costly too, but we shall be okay. So I think by today I'll be leaving in the evening. I'll take a flight to back home to plan for that burial on Saturday. Therefore, that's why I didn't want to come there again. I struggle to make those arrangements. And then your next class is on Wednesday. I don't know Wednesday if I'll be back. Then we'll be able to do a physical one. But if I still have some fatigue, we'll do the online one. Then we can now schedule for the physical one next week. That one. That one aside, I know that you are to do some installations, and therefore today I want you to lead the discussion so that this is an open forum. When you are in my class, you don't have to feel like you cannot do anything. No, it is you to make us feel that you are getting the concepts. Now, today I want you to display your screens so that you can be able to do the setup in case you did not do. But before you do that, then I'm going to run a demo for you so that you can be able to see whether you have achieved it or not. I see there is somebody who has still a problem with the installation of a JDK, which should be the simplest, and its configuration. I think I shared the video last time that I demonstrated how to configure your JDK. Unless you did not watch the video, because we did it in class and I gave out the video recording for that class. So, just by the show of hands, how many have installed the JDK and configured? You can raise your hand. I see Anthony. Who else? Amos Gitonga. The hand is there down. Kindly, you can raise all of you if you have. You can't be saying two people out of the entire population. Hello? James, have you installed the JDK? Christine, have you installed the JDK? Unmute. This is an open class so that you can speak. I want to hear you. Christine, have you done the installation?
I have not yet finished.
Oh, so you did not. The JDK, that one is so easy. Why? James, are you in class or you are sleeping? I'll force you now to show your screens now. so that you can follow the concepts well. Wayne James, I'm speaking to you, or even
Yes.
yes, James. Have
Yes.
you you have said you have installed?
No, 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 not yet.
What are you waiting for? Did you watch the previous class video?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you do that practical?
I'm still installing.
Uh, Nigel,
Yes,
have you installed yours?
not yet.
Concilata, please
Not
do that
yet.
now. Do that now, please. Just download those things now, because you cannot do mobile programming without those tools. Those tools are very key. And even if you'd be in Quer in the class panel, you can't do those things there. Those computers, they are weak. That's why I always recommend students to come with their own laptops. They cannot run those things. Sasa there is no any excuse ya kusema you would have done it in class. They are no. Those things are very weak. They can't run Androids. They crash. That's why I said use your laptops. Your laptops. That's why you see I'm even saying use your phone to connect to the class, then do all the work within your laptop. Now, if you are not installed now, what are you doing? It's just we can't move on. So I want you to show your screens so that we can be able to do those installations very fast. Dida, Felix, Mutuku, Helen, Cheka, Joseph Odhiambo, Joy Tuo, Kevin Kipukel, Kialo Wabinya, Mary Seliva, Michelle Kamau, Mike Dianga, Gail Aching Caleb, Paul Kialo, Wanjiku Anna, Wayne James, Joy Tuo, Joseph Odhiambo, Dida, Christine Mutai, Candy Biwott, Bruce Kantai, Anthony Mugo, Amos Gitonga, Abel Jerome. Right. So I want you to so follow this so that can be able to have. I say that if JDK 26 is giving you problems, I said it is the latest. So I advise that you use JDK 25. JDK 25. And they are just there, all of them. So please use the guide. Let's follow this so that you can do that setup very fast.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can download and install Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system. Now in order to install Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system, you need to have Java on your operating system. So first of all, we are going to see how we can install Java JDK, and then we are going to see how we can install and use Android Studio. So for that, first of all, open your favorite browser and search for Java JDK download. And the first link which will appear here will be from oracle.com/java/technologies/download. So just click on this link. I'm going to provide this link in the description of this video also, so you can directly come to this website. And here you just need to scroll down. At the time of making this video, Java 17 is the latest version which is available for download. So when you scroll down, you will see the option to.
So we went to this website last time, remember, and I directed you which one to download. We said from here you hover to Windows area and then you pick the latest version that was available, which is a .exe file. So currently we are in 26 or 25 and those kind of versions. So you can download at least from 24, 25. Because 26 somehow is still under development, you might be able to leave it so that you work with 25 and below, the stable versions.
To download the Linux binaries or the macOS binaries or the Windows binaries, right? So we are going to select Windows from here, and then we are going to select the exe option here. So just select the link which is in front of the installer option here. So click on this link here. So just wait for the download to complete. And once this exe file is downloaded, I'm going to click on this exe file and let me minimize my browser. So first of all, you will see this kind of window which says, do you want to allow this app to make changes on your device? I trust this app, so I will click on yes. And now I can see the Java JDK installer has been started on my Windows 11 operating system. So here you just need to click on the next button. And this will be the default location where Java will be installed on your Windows 11 operating system. Just remember this location. So by default, it's installed in C, then program files, then it's going to create a Java directory in program files folder. And then there will be a JDK 17 folder, or the name of the folder will be the version of JDK you are installing, right? So if you want to change this path, just click on change and then change the destination. Otherwise, if you don't have the good reason to change this location, just leave it as default and then click on next, which is going to start the installation of Java.
So for your case, do not change. Just leave it by default so that it can be installed in program files, which is a 64-bit version. And all these things I talked about them last week. So we are repeating again so that those who have not done should be able to complete that. I have those who have downloaded 26 and they seem to be having a problem with the installation. So I've guided that download the 25 version. .exe, and then ensure that you are accessing your laptop using the administrator account, not the guest account. If you use the guest account, it will request you to enter your password or PIN. And if you don't have the administrator password or PIN, then you'll find that the installation will not begin. To avoid such, log into your laptop or desktop that maybe you're using the administrator account. Then you can begin that setup. Do not use the latest 26 because your system might be lower in terms of memory, and therefore they want stronger generation, the current generation type of computers to work with. So if yours is still an old version, automatically it will reject. Therefore, use the stable version, which is 25. From that download setup, you'll be able to find the one that is below that so that you can be able to get that. If you follow the other lecture recording, you'll be able to see how to find such and then be able to download all. So proceed by following this and ensure that you do it practically
on your Windows 11 operating system. So at this point, You just need to wait for this process to complete, and in few seconds you can see the Java JDK has been installed on my Windows 11 operating system. So I'm going to close this window. That means Java is installed on my Windows 11 operating system, but still I have to do few things. First of all, I'm going to just go to the location where Java is installed. So just open your folder explorer and then go to the C directory, and then I'm going to go to the program files where Java folder is created, and then in my case JDK 17.0.1 is created. In your case this folder name version can be different, so just go to this folder. Right now, in order to set the environment variable for Java, what you need to do, you can just click on the search icon once again and then just type edit env here, which is going to show you this result, which says edit environment variable for your account, and it's going to open this kind of window. You can also open this edit environment variable using control panel. So you can search for control panel and then just view by category here, and then click on system and security, then click on system, and then once the system window opens, you can click on advanced system settings and then click on environment variables, which is also going to show you the same window, right? So you can choose any method to open this environment variable window, and once this is open, you need to click on the path environment variable under system variables and then click on edit, and here you need to add the path to your JDK folder binaries. So go to the folder where we have installed Java until a JDK folder, and then click on bin folder. So we need to go inside the bin folder inside this JDK folder and then copy the path, right? So until bin, and then copy this path from here, go to the environment variable window once again, and then you can double click here, or you can click on new, which is also going to show you this option, and then just paste this path until bin and then press enter, which is going to add this path to your environment variable. So click on OK. So your Java environment variable is set. Now some application also needs the Java home environment variable on your Windows operating system to run them. So let me show you how you can set the Java home environment variable also. So you can go at the top under user variable section and then click on new here, and then the variable name you need to provide here is Java underscore home. Everything is capital. Just write whatever I have written here, everything in capital. And the variable value will be the folder which we have opened, which is JDK folder. So don't go inside the bin folder in this case. Just copy the path until JDK folder. You don't need to go inside the bin folder in this case, okay? And then just paste this path under variable values, okay? So you can see there is no bin folder added here, only the path until the JDK folder. Click on OK, and then click on OK, and then click on OK, which is going to set.
So you can add that home, Java home, if you're using some old version computers, like the one that are below Core i, those ones Core i3 and below, those old HP versions or types, Lenovo, old versions, not the current one that have AI enabled. Those ones, if you are using those ones, then you have to create that, the Java home, add it in the user variables, then ensure that the bin extension has been set on the path environment so that you can have everything well ordered.
The environment variable for Java on your Windows 11 operating system. Now once you have installed Java and set the environment variables, you can use Java on command line. So you can just open the command prompt by typing cmd once again, and then I can type java space hyphen version here, and it's going to show me the version of Java. So you can see Java version 17.0.1. So once the installation of Java JDK is finished, we are ready to install Android Studio. So for that, open your browser once again and then search for Android Studio download. And the first link which will appear here will be from developer.android.com/studio. So I'm going to click on this link. I'm going to put this link in the description of this video also, so you can directly come to this website. And straight away, once this web page is open, you will be able to see this download Android Studio button here, right? And the version at the time of making this video is 2020.3.1. You might see the different version depending upon when you are downloading Android Studio. So I'm going to just click on this download button, which is going to open this license terms and conditions window. I just need to read or go through these license terms and conditions. And if you agree with them, just check this checkbox and then click on this green button, which is going to start the download of this Android Studio exe file. Now, once this executable file is downloaded, just go to the location where it's downloaded and then just right click here. So you need to run this file as an administrator. Okay. So don't just double click on it directly. You just need to run it as an administrator. So right click and then click on run as administrator. So first of all, you will see this kind of warning. Do you want to allow this app to make changes on your device? I trust this app, so I'm going to click on yes here. And you can see the setup window for Android Studio has been started. So on the first window, just click on next. And on the second window also, you just need to choose the components. So both the components are selected. So I'm going to click on next here also. This will be the default location where Android Studio will be installed on your Windows 11 operating system. So if you don't have the good reason to change this location, just leave it as default and then click on next. And here also just leave everything as default and then click on next. And just wait for the installation to complete. You can also see the details of the installation. So you can see what packages and libraries are being downloaded, extracted, and installed. And now after some time, I can see this message which says installation complete. The setup was completed successfully. So once you see this message, you can click on next button and then you can just check this checkbox and then click on finish, which is going to launch Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system. Now, when you start your Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system for the first time, it will ask you to import some settings or not. So if you don't have the previous installation of Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system, you can just leave it as do not import settings option and then click on OK, which is going to start Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system. And now I can see this window which says data sharing. So if you want to share data with Google, you can click on send usage statistics to Google. I don't want to share anything, so I'm going to click on don't send. And now you can see the Android Studio IDE has been started. And you can see Kotlin plugin update available. So at any point, Android Studio is going to show you these update messages. So if you want to update these plugins, then you can click on update and it's going to update your plugins or drivers, right? And now at this point, we need to set up our Android Studio according to our preferences, right? So this is just for the first time you need to set up Android Studio. So at this point, click on next here. And then from here, you can choose standard and then click on next. And you can choose either the light theme or the Darkula theme, whatever you like. For now, I'm going to click on the light theme and then click on next. And then at last, you will see this window which says verified set.
Now that part is very, very important. This part here, that's why I told you, do not install Android Studio when you are offline. Never try. Do the installation when you are online. so that you can complete it once. But installing half and then coming back to struggle with the next phase will disturb you. So you need to install it the first time. At the same time, the emulator will pop up. You'll have to install all these libraries that are required so that now you can start doing the setup and configuration. But do not start installation when you are not online. I hope we are together there. I warned you last time. Again, I'm warning today. And number two, always start the installation when you are in a strong internet connection, not unstable. Are we together? Not unstable internet connection, so that you can have these things being done perfectly.
Things. So you can see these all SDKs and Android related files will be downloaded. So I'm going to click on finish, which is going to start the download and install of all the drivers and all the SDK files on your Android Studio, right? So at this point also, once again, you need to wait for some time. And if you want to see the details, always click on show details button, which is going to show you the details of what's going on in the installation process. And once the installation process is complete, I'm going to click on finish button. And now
So that part will take longer depending on the speed of your internet and also the speed of your computer. So if your computer and the speed is too low, then it will take longer time to complete. But if your computer and the internet are very strong, then it will go faster a bit. But ensure that you are completely connected, not in an uninterrupted network. For example, you're using mobile data. No, have a very strong Wi-Fi connectivity. Even if it is mobile data, then do not allow any interruptions so that your network connectivity is stable and continuous, so that any installation or download should not be stopped anywhere.
Android Studio has been started on your Windows 11 operating system. So from here, you can customize your Android Studio, install plugins, and learn more about Android Studio. Let's create a very simple Android Studio project and let's see if everything is working fine or not. You can also see when you click on more actions here, you have the profile or debug APK, import project, import an Android code sample, AVD manager and SDK manager here, right? So let's create a new project. I'm going to click on the new project option here. And from here, you can choose what you want to develop. I'm going to just choose the empty activity.
Do not choose empty activity now, because you are going to run your application using Kotlin. Number two, when you use empty activity, you will not be able to change from one language to another. That's why I said use empty view activity. If you follow the earlier video, use empty view activity, not empty activity. When you use the empty view activity, it will give you a possibility to change the language, Java or Kotlin. All right? So be very keen when you are starting your project. Don't start with this method. This was old method, because you can see still using Android JDK 17. So this was old and you could be able to work with it. Currently, You need to use empty views activities so that you can be able to have that ability to choose Kotlin, because what I want us to use is Kotlin language within that.
here and then click on next, and this will be the name of my application. I'm going to change it as my simple app, and you can also choose the
I think all these steps we did last time when I was explaining all those concepts. So still you can review the other video, be able to get it more.
language in which you want to develop your app. So nowadays the default language is Kotlin, but you can also choose Java from here. So let's choose Java for now. And also you can choose
For us, you don't choose Java. I've said you'll use Kotlin so that you meet the market demand. Are we together there? You said you are using Kotlin, not Java. The entire of it is Java. Kotlin is just an updated framework that is simpler in terms of codes. You don't write very long codes, you write very short codes, and then they still execute the task. So that's why I've said that today you'll use Kotlin, not Java. Number two, also in the job market, most of the developers have shifted, or companies have shifted to Kotlin. So it's so unfair if I continue leaving you staying with Java only, yet Kotlin is an advanced version of Java. So you better use Kotlin so that you meet the market demand. We together. So in that section there, you don't select the language as Java, select Kotlin.
the SDK. So by default API 21.
So for the minimum SDK, due to various computers and so on, or various devices, you can either use API 23, but then you'll find that with the current Android Studio and JDK support, sometimes you might have problems even loading some libraries if you are using Marshmallow, Lollipop, and so on. So you can use Android 9.0 or 10 point something, which are below there, around 32. You can use API 32, all right, API 32 or 30 and above. Are we together? Do not use this 27, 26, 28. Either you can start from here API 28. That's okay. API 28 so that you run from Android 9.0, because the current Android version of mobile phones that everybody is using is which version? They are beyond version 9. That's why I'm saying you use the API that is at least supporting the current devices. So if you continue using these old APIs, then your app will be having a lot of patches to update all the time, and might not be working very well with the current mobile devices. They might be restricted to access several resources on your mobile device. So use from 30 and above, or from 28 here and above, is a good API that you can be able to use.
One is selected, which covers approximately 98% of devices. But
And ensure you select that part, because if you don't pick it, then what will be your SDK emulator? So you have to choose it so that it can start installing that SDK emulator, and that API it will be installed to support what is called now the AVD, okay, to run your device. So always ensure that you have selected that and complete all those processes before you start anything. So once you start it like this and then you select that API, remember the installation will have to start again. That's why I said you must be in a strong network and more internet bundles. Do not just say that you'll buy a 2 GB bundles and you want to deal with Android studios or mobile development. No, you need more data with you. So if it is data, you must ensure that you have something like 10 GB, 5 GB at least for the setup. Then once you are now done with the setup, the rest now you can be able now to use less data to work on. But for the setup here and ensure that your project environment is completely running well, then you must be having 5 GB and above to complete the entire setup. So let's continue.
If you want to choose any other version, for example, I want to choose some newer version, I can choose, let's say, the newest version here, which is available, which is API 31, but it just covers less than 1% of devices, right? So I will leave it as API 21 for now, which covers approximately 98% of devices, and then click on finish here, which is going to start your Android Studio and create your project. Just maximize this window here. For the first time when your project is created, you can see it takes some time. It takes some time to download all the Gradle related files and other files. So you just need to wait for some time until you see the project structure here.
So this process will take longer time. Number one, it has to check what SDK have you installed. Do you have the emulator available and so on. So these Gradles are very, very powerful tools because they are the key libraries that will run this application. So you do not tamper with it. Do not stop it. You have to let it continue installing and you ensure that you are in a continuous strong network. Do not tamper with your internet connectivity because it will slow down, it will leave some areas not installed, and your application will have all the time just fixing errors. So you need to ensure that that one is resolved. Number two is that before you start setting up the installation, if you are using the old version HP, Lenovo, or Dell laptops, then you have to enable Hyper-V on your BIOS setup. If you don't enable that, then you'll have more time to struggle with the setup of your Android Studio and the environment. It will not work. You'll try to configure and run your app, it will not compile. Why? Because the environment is not supported. So ensure that the Hyper-V is enabled and other MI requirements. So this part, you keep leaving it and you relax. You wait for it to complete the entire installation and checking of the Gradles. In case of any error, it will always show you there, down there. Under the build section, you'll be able to see all the problems there. You'll be able to see the problem so that you can look at it and then start fixing that error. Until then, should you now do the right thing, because all this setup must complete and must synchronize with your system or your app before you start the development.
And you can see that all the downloads are complete. Here at the bottom you will see all the processes which are going on. You can just click on show all link here and you will see what's going on. So it's importing the Gradle project right now, and then it's going to update the indexes, right? So now I can see my project has been created and all the indexing has been done. I can minimize this window because I don't need it. And when a new project is created, you will see two files here. First one is main activity.java, where you will write all the logic behind your Android app, and you will see activity underscore main.xml file where you can design your app, right? So you have all these components here. You can drag and drop these components in your app, and then you can use these components, right? But before running your app, you need an Android emulator where you will run your app, right? You have created your app, but where this app will run on your device. So you need to add a device. So I'm going to click on this no device option and then click on AVD manager. And you can see it says virtual device allow you to test your application without having.
So you need to know that this process is also very key because you need to test your application. To test your application, you either use the AVD, which is going to install for you the emulator that is compatible with your version of the app and the API, or you can connect there with wireless, paired wireless, and then you can be able to test it with your mobile phone. For that process, then you need to go to your phone and then convert it into a developer mode. How do you do that? You have to go to settings. Then from settings, you have to go to about phone. Go through it and then go to, if you're using Samsung, you can go to software information, and then you can go to build number, then tap it 3 times continuously. So you tap 1, wait a little bit, 2, 3. So you type it continuously, 1, 2, 3. Then it will show you down there, developer mode has already been turned on, or you are now a developer. Then once that is done, even if you are using Huawei or whatever, Redmi or whatever, you must find where it says build number, so that you tap that 3 times. Then it will show you that now you are a developer. Then when you go back to about to the settings now, you'll be able to see another section which has been added below about phone, because mostly about phone is the last part, is the last menu that you get. So you'll find another one which has been added below it, and it's called developer options. So you have to open that developer options, and then you can go down until you find debugging, because you'll have the memory bug, something reporting, and all those things. But then you have just to go to the debugging category, go to debugging, and then from there you have USB debugging or wireless debugging. So if you want to pair here, you can see up there where it was clicked, and then you are seeing wired device. So
Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can download and install Android, and then click on next, which is going to show a new project which covers, let's say, I will leave it, your project downloads are complete, right? So now I can see here. First one is main activity.java, where you will write all the logic and design your app, right? And then you can, right? You have created your app, but where this no device option, and then click on AVD manager, and you device. So I'm going to click on.
So So in that area there,
Add a device.
there, you see Wire OS emulator pairing consistent. Or nowadays you can even see their Bluetooth pair or Wi-Fi pair. Okay, so if you want to use that, then you'll come to your debugging area and then go to wireless debugging, then toggle it on. Once you toggle it on, you'll be able to see allow wireless debugging on this network. Then you should always say always allow, and then you allow. So once you click allow, it will be able to give you two options: pair device with the QR code or pair device with the pairing code. So nowadays this one is not well updated. If I show you on mine, you'll be able to see all of these two. You will see the QR code there, and then you will see the pair device with pair code, and also the code will be generated there, so that you can link your phone directly with the Android Studio to allow your app to be tested directly on your mobile phone, so that even if it is UI that is not well aligned, you can easily identify from your real mobile phone how your app looks like. Unlike the older days where you only need to depend on the AVD manager, where you will be checking your application on the emulators area only. Yet when you install it on your mobile phone, it behaves in a different way. So nowadays you can do the development and check or do the debugging with two devices. You can even add both your AVD, and you can as well as use your mobile phone, so that the way you see it in the AVD should be always also be able to see it on your phone, so that you can do everything lively, so that you don't waste much of the time. You are testing as you do the development, testing as you do the development, now to achieve what you did in software development life cycle. Okay, so you are building as you test. That is the best approach with mobile app development. So I think you have been able to activate your mobile phones into what is called a developer mode. I've said let you all go to about phone, click it, and then look for where it's written build number. So once you are in the build number, you can now tap it 3 times until it shows you a toast message showing that you are now a developer. Then go back to the settings, and then you will see developer option. That's now where I'm saying go to the debugging. Then you use two options, either USB debugging. If you are choosing USB debugging, then have your USB cable. Have your USB cable, connect it to your device and connect it to your phone. Once you connect it, it will show you there that the USB debugger is ready to debug your app. So you'll be able to see your phone opening here where it says no device. You see up here where it says no device is where you'll be able to see your mobile phone name appearing. That means that now you have connected it with your USB cable. In case you don't have the USB cable, that's why I'm saying use wire OS pairing, or you will see there saying pair devices with QR code, or pair devices with pairing code, or Wi-Fi pairing, or debugging, Wi-Fi debugging. So you click that so that you can be able to use either the QR code or pair with the code. Sometimes you don't have the QR code reader, so just use pair device with pairing code. Then once you click the pairing code on your device, it will give you a certain number. that number you will have to compare it with what you have on this Android Studio there, and then enter it there. Then it will be able to connect. Your device will be connected automatically, all right? And then you'll be pairing your device with your Android Studio for debugging and testing your app. And if you don't have that, then click AVD Manager, so that you go to selecting the image, pick the image that is of high API level, that is good, and then install it. It will take time. It is like something like 1.2 GB again. So it will install that until it is done, and it will now show it here that now this is the AVD or API that's available for you. So ensure that all that process is done in a sequential, systematic, no interruption, for you to have your Android Studio development environment set up.
So I'm going to click on this no device option and then click on AVD Manager. And you can see it says virtual device allow you to test your application without having your own physical device, right? So I'm going to click on create virtual device here and then choose any of the phone here. So
Be very keen here. That's when we are talking about selecting your image, the image. So you have to pick here the style that at least you see on this end here. It should be this image should be the one that is friendly before you clone the device. So you choose here the pixel that works better with your
first of all, choose the
device.
category and then I will choose Pixel 5 here.
So be very keen here, because you might end up selecting Wear OS or tablet or automotive or TV instead of selecting phone. So you have to select phone first. Then you pick now the image that works better with your device. So follow these steps here very keenly, because you will need to have it whether you like it or not. Especially if your phone cannot pair with your device, then you need the AVD emulator to work with it, so that it provides you with the virtual device developer environment for you to test your application.
And then choose any of the phone here. So first of all, choose the category and then I will choose Pixel 5 here, right? And then click on next. And from here, I can choose any release, but on the right hand side.
So this is what I'm talking about, the image, the image, the image. So sometimes also your devices, because they are old versions, you might have problems with HAXM installation problems. If this one is not enabled in your devices, then testing Android development will be problems. So at least use the current uh, laptops. Do not use those old version laptops, because you will have a lot of problems with them. Huh? Because most of them, this HAXM is not supported within your BIOS, and therefore you'll have always the problem with it. This must be running for it to work best. And you can see you have an option there, install HAXM. So click install if it shows you this danger before you even proceed to anything, so that you can click install It will take you to the procedures on how to install it. Please follow them carefully and ensure that you download all the needful, because mostly it will take you direct to GitHub. Find that file, download it, install it, configure it. Then before now you come back here, and then once you select the image here, you have to click download. And when you click download, it will take some time again. And that's why I told you people, to configure this environment will take longer time. And that's why you see I gave you the first week. I told you do this because I knew how long it will take. The first week I said download all these softwares. Then so that in the next week, which was last week, we would have done the complete installation. But then the first week you failed to download all this after I directed and I told the class rep for you to do that. You failed it because these things, number one, they are large. So even if you download it, it will take the entire lesson of 3 hours just for download. That's why I said last week the first lesson was downloading the softwares first, because Android Studio is something like 1 point something GB. It would have taken you something like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours to download, depending on the speed of your laptop and your internet. So 3 hours would have been consumed in that process. So even if it was to go through the lecture content, you wouldn't have gone through it, because I wanted the environment first to be made. The second lesson, we went through all the structure and everything now about the Android Studio. I demonstrated all the processes, starting up of the mobile app. We talked about the structure and the architecture of the Android Studios and the Android application. So today I want you just to complete with this setup, because we can't go to the next lesson when this environment has not been fully configured, because you will be wasting time dragging yourself. And yet I want you to start with the project. So by next week or even before this week ends, because I'm going for a burial, so I might not be able to have much time to work on it, because I'll be working on so many guests within the family. So what I have to do is that you will have the whole week from today to complete any setup that you have not done, so that by the next week when we meet on Wednesday, you should have all the environment ready for you to start the development. You must have even your demo sample to be able that is working correctly without any errors for us now to move forward. So you will have to click download, and I advise you use API 30, 31 and above, 30, 31, 32. That is what will work with the current UIs, because if you use below that, like you want to use 28, 29, it will not work with other UIs. And you see, it depends with what? Look at the target device. So that's why I told you that when you are starting the development, the creation of your app there, I said pick the API that is higher. And I said pick 30, 31, 32 there. That is what will support the current UI UX or the user interface designs for your application. So please pick the API that is at least 30, 31, 32 there, so that when you come here, you can pick 30, 30, 30, 31, and 32 there, the AVD, the emulator. That one will work best. So you select that, and then you click download. You don't just select, then you leave. You will have to click download, so that now you can be able now to move next to start the installation. It will take another 1 hour like this for it to complete when your internet is strong. Okay, so this is a process that you can take around 8 hours for you to complete the setup. If you just stabilize yourself, you are seated in a very stable internet, you'll take good 8 hours or 7 hours to complete the setup very well, so that now everything should be working perfectly. So those people with the computers showing HAXM error, you see where your problem is. So you need to click install, go to the procedure, install that library, and then things will be okay.
Right, I can see this red message which says HAXM is not installed. So if you see this message, then fix is simple. You just need to click on this install HAXM. If you don't see this message, everything is fine for you and you don't need to install HAXM. It's already installed on your device, right? So if you see this red message, just click on this install HAXM and then click on next here, which is going to show you this message. I'm going to click on yes here. And now I just need to wait for some time. And after some time, I can see this message which says Intel HAXM installed successfully. So I can click on finish option. And once that's done, I can just download any of the release from here, right? So let me choose this Pi version, which is version 28. And then I need to accept all license terms and conditions.
Always accept those licensing. I've seen many students messing up around, that saying that they have selected it, yet you have not selected this accepting licensing. So mostly when you pick that, you'll be able to see a lot of things here and showing red. So what you need to do is that you have to select all that you want to be installed. All of them will need to be installed. Do not unselect anything. Then come here and then always ensure that you have accepted the licensing. Accept the terms and conditions for the Android Software Development Kit licensing agreement, so that it can be incorporated inside your SDK. So select the accept license, then you can now be able now to move.
And then click on next here, which is going to start the download here. You can.
So once this part starts, please do not cancel. Wait, take all that time, relax, do other things, because it will take, with the speed of your internet, it might take another 45 minutes or 1 hour. So you'll have to be waiting. Be patient. Do not rush. Do not run as if you are just installing your funny applications. Be very patient.
See the process of download.
And also do not interrupt with your internet, because it will not complete. And once it is not completed, again you'll have to restart. And sometimes when you restart and it has created what are called the cookies or the cache files, it will have a problem unless you go into the directories, you delete the cached folders for you now to proceed. So to avoid all those stresses, ensure that just your internet is strong and you are seated, you have enough space, storage space on your local disk C, so that you don't have any interruptions. Ensure that you have a space of more than around 10 GB, so that it can work on it, because it will consume around 5 GB for the entire Android Studio to complete all the setup. So if you don't have that kind of a storage, that you have just 1 GB or some MBs remaining, then just don't try, just leave it, because it will not do anything.
In this progress bar, so you can see 2%, 3% here. And once this SDK is installed, you will see this message here, which is done. So you can just click on finish, and then you can see this Pi release is installed. So you can click on next now, and then select the AVD name. I will leave it as default. And then you can also select your orientation. So I will leave it as default also, and then click on finish. So once I click on finish, this device will be added to my virtual device. And once this device is added, I can just close this and I can always select this device.
And you'll always now see it on top there. You can see there. So if you have also connected and paired your phone, you'll be able to see all of them here, and it will now be showing multiple device debugger. So it will show here multiple device. So that means that when you click it, it will be able to show the emulator API, which is maybe Pixel 5, API 28, or API 30, or whatever that you picked.
From here, and then click on Run App button, which is
plus your mobile device that you have paired there, so that when you run the test, this green button that will be here, then it will run within the emulator. At the same time, it will also work with your connected USB cable device or the paired mobile phone device, so that all of them can be synchronized and they can be able to run instantly to test your application.
is going to build my app and then run this app in my virtual device, which is this Pixel 5 virtual device. Now, in case if you see this message which says failed to install the following Android SDK packages, some license has not been accepted. So to solve this problem, what you need to do is you just need to click on tools here and then click on SDK manager. And once SDK manager opens, select Android SDK here. And on the top, select SDK tools, right? And then click on this option which says Android SDK command line tools, right?
Be very keen in this area, because most of you have problems with your SDK installation, and you'll always see that issue. So to fix that, be very keen to this step. Go to tools, go to SDK installation, and then come to the SDK tools, and then get into that. Select that SDK command line tools, because they have not been installed. Although you have the Android SDK build tools here, but if you don't have the Android SDK command line tools installed, then it will always be a problem. So you have to ensure that Android SDK build tools is installed, Android SDK command line is installed, Android emulator is installed, Android SDK platform tools is installed, and then Intel x86 emulator accelerator HAXM installer is installed. Remember, this one will always show you the error. So once you click install HAXM, then it will be installed automatically from that area. So here you'll be able to come and see which one is installed, which one is not installed. If you find that now any of them is not installed, then you'll be able to click them and then click apply. And then the installation will again begin, which will take another maybe 2 GB. So you need the internet to be very stronger to work on these things. So be very keen to this step.
So right now it's not installed. So I'm going to just apply this and then click on OK and then accept and then click on next, which is going to download this command line tool. And once this tool is installed, click on finish and then click on OK now, right? And then try once again. And this time you will see that your build process will move forward. Your emulator is already started, so you can see it's waiting for the build to finish and then it's going to launch your app in your emulator. So let me move this emulator on the right hand side so you can see the build also and also see this app. And now I can see my launch is successful on my Android emulator, and the name of my app at the top is My Simple App, which is the name of my project. And I can see Hello World here, which was the button which was here, right? So this is how you can download and install Android Studio on your Windows 11 operating system. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next video.
So that is the end of that demo. So it's your turn to ensure that you have done this process until the
Hey
end
guys.
of it. Now, I think up to there, I believe that all the challenges in that section will be addressed completely. So if anybody has an issue again, I'll share that video with you again, sorry, the recording with you again for this class, so that take your time, sit down, follow it slowly with your phone and your laptop, do it and configure those things so that by the end of today, everybody should have everything working perfectly on your end. No errors, no issues, so that we can be able to have the best class sessions this time round. I don't like students being at the back. They have not finished configuring their tools and other things, yet the same things are required for you to complete with your development, because without doing this, you have problems forever. And yet, Android development is the best area that you can deal with. Leave alone these issues of web-based and whatever. Work with Android apps. So many companies will look for you, not you looking for them. All right? Because every business needs a mobile app. Even those ones running web apps, they need a mobile app, because mobile app is more portable. Instead of somebody trying to guess, oh, what was the name of the website, then he starts typing www or whatever. It takes time. Instead of just going to the Google Play Store, downloading the app, since he knows the name of the company, then it is easier. So every company will look for you instead of you looking for them. So be a good app developer. And even in your projects, can you work with app development? So just always thinking about mobile, just web applications, websites. Websites cannot solve for you the biggest problems. You need to use mobile apps. So even in your projects, start working on mobile applications that will market you better and more. I remember all my students who have done a lot of these mobile apps and they listen to me carefully. All of them are at work now as we speak. All of them, they are working. But if you want to continue with your web applications and whatever, there's be networking and whatever, you will stay there for years without a job. So deal with what is marketable. Android application components. Let's look at Android application components, which is topic 5. Android application components includes the building blocks of any Android application app. And what you have here is that you need to, I think I showed you last time on the Android manifest files, and where you can be able to add your launching activity, change the app logo and icon. You can be able to change them there and so on. So we have a file called manifest file, Android manifest file.xml, where all the descriptions and additional components of your app are being added. Your app, when it is launched through the Android manifest file. And then it is where you can be able to detect and add the launcher of your app. Number 2, It is a place where you will have to edit your app, icon, background, and other issues about your app. Number three, it is where you will be able to add all the activities. It is where you will be able to add all the activities that you have created inside the layout folder for your app. All the UIs, you'll have to declare them there for them to be launched. So if you have not declared them there, then they will not be launched. So they describe each component of your application and how they interact with each other. So there are following four main. So these are the four main components that are used within the Android application that I want you to know. The four main application components that are within the Android application. Number one is the activities. So what do they do? Activities dictate your user interface and they handle the user interactions to the smartphone screen or to your screen, whether it's a smartphone or smart car or a smart device. They interact. It is the one that looks at all those. So all those activities, every function that you have is categorized as an activity. For instance, login, register, go home, withdraw, send money, top up, Lipa and M-Pesa. All those that you are seeing on top of the app, those activities that you are clicking, those things that you are clicking, those pages that you are clicking are activities. So you create them inside the layout, res layout folder. That's where you create all the activities. So they dictate your UI. Two is the service. The services handle the background processing. Is any single screen that is running at the background is what we call as a service. Broadcast receivers. These ones, they handle the communication. All forms of communication, SMS, messaging, emails, and everything. Toast messages, notifications, and all that. They handle communication between the Android operating system and your application. Then we have the content provider. This area now, or this component now, handles all the issues about data and storage. So issues about database SQLite, connection to the databases, whether it is SQLite, MongoDB, MySQL, whether it is Oracle, whether it's Postgres, whether it is Firebase, whether it is Superbase, and all those type of databases, and the connectivity to them. It's being handled by content providers. Issues about Wi-Fi, connectivity and everything, GSM and so on. All of them are handled by broadcast receiver because all of them are for communication. So these are the major components of that Android application: activities, services, broadcast receivers, content providers. And you must know what are the explanations of each. So in the activities, I've said that what is an activity? An activity is a single screen with a user interface. So when you open your mobile app for Safaricom, and then you are seeing different things there, show your M-Pesa balance, Lipa and M-Pesa, send money, M-Pesa Global, or whatever. All those are activities. They are single screens, top up, because when you click it, it opens a screen that will be interacting with it. So that one single screen that you are interacting with is what we call an activity. So it is the one that you are using to perform all the activities or all the actions on the screen. It is the one that you are interacting with in most of the time to do all the work that you want to do. That is an activity. Where are they created? We say they are the ones that define how your mobile app looks like, the functionalities, the colors, the whatever, the beauty, the forms, the sections that you are interacting with, all of them are there. And we said you go to the rest folder, layout section, that's where you create activities. So you have main activities. If it is login page, you create login activity. If it is register page, you create register page. If it is about send money, you create send money page. So all that is an activity. For example, an email. So those are just examples. The key thing is to know that definition there and be able, because I've given a lot of examples there. So an application that has more than one activity is it should be marked as the activity that is presented when an application is launched. So sometimes you have a launcher, for example, login, so that from login you can then access register or you can access go home, so that once you log in, then you can access the home page. But then some people want to start with the landing page, then they can now click login, then they can now go to home page. So it's all about you. How do you want people to interact with your app? An activity is implemented as a subclass of an activity class. How? So you need to know, how can you write an code to implement a subclass as an activity as a subclass of the main activity? How do you implement this? So you can implement this through the code public class. Start with your main activity, and then you can use what is called inheritance approach, because here you are using inheritance. You want the other class to be accessed in this class, so you have to use an inheritance term, which is extends. So you use public class, the activity that you are in, then you want it to use it as a subclass of the other. So you use the main class, the main activity, and then you now extend the all activities. So the next one is a service. So we had talked about this. Remember, they were these four: activities, services, broadcast receiver, content receiver. So we are looking at all of them. So that is a simple code that you can write to implement an activity as a subclass of an activity class. So you write that code. Public class, main activity extends an activity. Then you can now put everything inside the curly braces. So services. What is a service? A service is a component that runs in the background to perform long-running operations. Write that one. Sure, you write that one. A service is a component that runs in the background to perform a long-running operation. In simple terms, when you have launched, if you are running an SMS, you are in an SMS app, and then you see a pop-up of WhatsApp, and then you click WhatsApp, then you go the other side, you'll always know that that activity that was running before is still running at the background. Sometimes you are doing maybe withdrawal of money, and then the message has come later and it's running at the background on top there sometimes. So all those activities that are running that you are not seeing them on the screen, but they are running at the background, are what we call service. So a service is implemented as a subclass of a service class as shown. Remember, we have talked about an activity being implemented as a subclass of an activity where you will use public class main activity extends activity. What about a service being implemented as a subclass of a service? How will you implement it? You will implement it using public class my service extends service. Then you put everything inside the curly braces. Are we together up to there? I hope so. Then broadcast receivers. Broadcast receivers. So broadcast receivers, we said they handle the issue with communication. So they simply respond to broadcast messages from the application or from the system. They handle all forms of interceptions, communication, received information, notifications, and all those toast messages and so on. So a broadcast receiver can also be implemented as a subclass of the broadcast receiver using a message or a broadcast and intent object. So how do you achieve this? You can achieve this by writing a simple line of code, which is here. Public class my receiver extends broadcast receiver, and inside there you must define on receive function. So inside the curly braces you have to say public void on receive, then you now define where the intent function comes from. And remember, we have two types of intents: implicit intent and explicit intent. One handling external services, the other one handling internal services and activities. So this is the code that you need to remember to write when implementing a broadcast receiver as a subclass of the broadcast receiver. So that is the code that you should be able to write very fast. Right. Okay, I believe we have finished. Now let's look at now the content providers. We said a content provider component supplies data from one application to the other on requests. For example, the application you are using API integrating with the databases, and you are requesting some JSON files from your database. Because you have made a request, then the database will have to respond by now submitting what you want through the internet connectivity. So such requests are handled by the methods called the content resolver class. So how do you implement it? You have to write public class my content provider extends content provider, and then there you have to use on create, not on receive, the way you have used it in broadcast receiver. So broadcast receiver, because you are receiving, so you have to use the on receive, then content intent. But here you have to do what? On create, because you are creating requests. So the data may be stored in the file system, the database or elsewhere else entirely, and it might be called. So a content provider can be implemented as a subclass of the content provider class and must be implemented as a standard set of APIs that enables other applications to perform any transactions or connectivity. So like that one. So you can also write that code on how content provider is implemented as a subclass of the content provider. I hope you have finished. Have you? You have finished. Let me know. Hello? Are we together there? Okay, good. So write it, so that you don't miss it. Let's look at additional components. Additional components. So there are other additional components because the main ones are four. We have said activities. Another one is which one? Hello? Yes, we can unmute and mention. Number one is let me look for somebody.
Services.
Services. Teddy. Is it Tandy Sien? Saying Tandy. Which one else? Tandy. Are you in class? Unmute. Paul Kialo. The other one is which one?
Services, activities.
Ochieng Caleb. Say the third one. Ochieng Caleb. Is this one in class? Or is busy sleeping? Michelle. Kamau. Michelle.
Yes, I'm in class, sir. It is content providers.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Michelle, where are you? Michelle, mention the last one. Mishi. Say the last one. Or you don't know. Michelle, unmute and say.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, somebody to help this Michelle, who is just here. And I've sung this thing continuously. Michelle, were you in class really?
Yes, but I'm having unstable connection.
But even if you have unstable connection, you can just see the screen there. We've shown them there. We've talked about them. We've said activity. We've said the service. and I've explained all of them. So even just mentioning is a problem, Michelle. Not, I really. Helen, which one is the last one? Helen, unmute and speak faster. How to move? Helen Washira. Hey, Consilata, can you help them?
Broadcast receivers.
Good. We have just 4 main activities, service, broadcast receivers, and content providers. And we have said the function of each. And somebody is still not grasping the knowledge. Simple things. Okay. Let us proceed now to the additional components that are added there. So we have other additional components, which includes fragments, views, layouts, intents, resources, and manifests. So when you start with fragments first, you must know that they represent a portion of a user interface in an activity. For example, a menu, a navigation drawer, and so on. Those are fragments. Views, these are user interface elements that are drawn on the screen. Whether you're using a button, whether you're using a drop down, whether you're using toggle buttons, whether you're using forms, list forms to show all the available charts. For example, in WhatsApp, when you are seeing the charts or the status, those are views. Layouts, either you use a constraint layout, or you are using relative layout, or you are using linear layout. So you must be able to know that layouts are view hierarchies that controls the screen format and appearances of your views. And remember, your views are your user interface elements that you have them inside your design. Then intents. Intents, we say, are messages wiring components together. That's why we have two types: implicit intents and explicit intents. Then resources. We have external elements such as strings, constraints, drawables, pictures, and everything. Mid maps and all those things that are found inside the drawables when you open your res folder. Then we also have what is called manifest. Manifest refers to the configuration files for the application. So that makes the end of that. So the major ones are activity, service, broadcast receivers, and content providers. Then additionals are now these ones that we have said about: fragments, views, layouts, intents, resources, manifests. So if asked to describe any of them, you'll be able to describe. So that makes the end of that topic. And I wanted us to introduce another topic, which is just now to tell you now the components of the Android, so that once you have installed, you can be able now to see. Now the next one is now topic 6, which is Hello World example app. So when you first launch your app, we've seen the whole process of doing that, so I'm not going to repeat that because you need to have your emulator, editing your environment setup, and all those things. Then you start your first application. So you create an Android application. So how do you create it? We have said that you go to the Android Studio icon, start it, open the screen, then go to start new project, and then from here you can be able to put the name of your application there, select the project location, and then also edit your company domain if you want. Select the SDK, and we've talked about all that in the even in the demo that we have just finished going through, and even the previous one that I displayed in the last lecture. So you choose the minimum API target, then you move to the next. So the next level, you choose the installation that should contain. So here I've said you use the empty. We used to have empty activity. In the older days, we used to have blank activities. Now I have said do not use either of them. Use what is called empty views activity. Do not select empty activity. Select empty view activity from the list that will be appearing here. Then the final app creation stage. This is now where you have. So once you have selected your app, you have opened that, then you will have this interface, which we showed in the last class. Then you are now supposed now to start now understanding now the structure of the app or the directories of the app. Directory number one is either your Kotlin or Java. So because we are dealing with Kotlin, you will see there Kotlin. So once you get inside there, you have to click the first one or the second one, Android test here, or the first one here. You open it, then you'll find your main activity being opened there. Then we have the manifest file, where I've said it's where you can do changing the icon of your app, changing the logo of your app. Even after the installation, what you'll be able to see, like if it is Google, you are seeing the icon for Google. They say all these changes can be modified inside the manifest XML file. And then we said it is also where you can be able to add all the activities that are supposed to be executed on your app, all the UIs for your app, or all the functions activities for your app are described there. Then it is also where you can be able to define the launcher activity that will be opened when you launch your app. If you don't declare them there, then nothing will happen. You will see a blank page on your app. Then we have REST folder. REST folder, we said we have four main folders. We have the drawable folder, we have the layout folder. Drawable folder is where I said you will put all your images, wallpapers, icons that you want to use in your app, and all those images, all the graphics, animated contents, you put them there. Because inside the drawables, you have the drawables mid map, you have drawable HDPIs and so on. So you have to do them there. Layout is a folder that we have said it contains all your activities, all the actions of your app. For instance, if it's M-Pesa app, you are doing send money, you are doing airtime top up, you are doing Lipa na M-Pesa, you are doing M-Pesa Global, you are doing whatever, Pochi la Biashara. All those are activities. All those are actions that your app is going to do. If it is Global, if it is ATM, withdraw, deposit, cancel, change PIN, whatever, all those are activities. So you create them inside layout. And you always have to right click, go to empty views activity, then you create one, and then you start. Once you create the layout activity, it will automatically create the main activity file where you will be coding the functionalities, and it will be stored where? Inside this number one, either Kotlin or Java file inside there. Then Nipmap. Nipmap contains things like your launcher icon. You can put it there. Small small icons that you want to use in your app, drawings and whatever, you put them there. Then you have values. Under values, we have colors, we have themes, we have strings. Colors, it is where you will be able to write all the colors that you want to use to define your app. If your app, for example, is Equity, which uses brown colors and black and white, then you put all those colors inside colors. If your app like Queer, it's like orange, like this, and then with the white, or red with the white, then all of them you declare them inside the colors. Strings is where you will define all the text that you are going to use inside your app. For example, username, login, if the button is called sign up, that's text sign up. All of them have to be defined inside the strings file. If you don't define them here, then you'll always see the error. Are we together there? The diamonds and themes is what you use to define. Like when you launch your app, you have seen when you launch the Queer app, the entire screen changes to the color of that app, like yellow, red, blue, green. So all that will be defined inside the themes. Then we have the Gradles. We have the project Gradles and we have the build Gradles. You need to know the difference all of them. And then the properties section. So the build Gradles is where you will have to declare all the other libraries and implementation extensions that you want to add to support your app functionality. Utafanya zote on the build Gradle and the build Gradle section for the project. So utafanya zote inside the module app. And then there are other changes that we'll be able to do inside the project app. So inside the project and inside the mobile app, there are changes that you'll be able to do there. In case that now you are integrating your app with other external APIs, for instance, M-Pesa, payments, or you are integrating it with what is called what other API? Let's say you are interacting with it with the external or Google-based or cloud-based databases, such as Firebase, which you can go to tools, then you go to Firebase, and then you can connect it. Then all of them, sometimes you will have to download the JSON files. JSON files you will have to bring and then install them here. And some of them you will have to declare them inside the Gradle properties and the build Gradle section for them to work. If you don't declare or add the Google link to access them, then you'll find that it will not be able to connect itself to your database and work very well. So you'll always use the Firebase. So you need to know how to link Firebase into your mobile app. That one we shall do it in the next session. After you have configured all the environment and you have launched your first app. All right. So that is when we shall be able to do that. So that is the structure. So let's look at what do you have in Java. Java contains all the source files for your project. Or Kotlin, you can have Java or Kotlin file there. Then you have the REST drawable HDPI. So this one is a drawable directory where all the drawable objects such as images, intensified, animated contents can be placed there, the ones that you are using inside your layout files. Then in the layout, is where you define your app's user interfaces and activities, all the actions I've said there. Values is where you have all the XML files that contain all the collection of resources such as colors, strings, and everything there. Themes, diamonds, and so on. Android manifest file, we say that is a file which describes the fundamental characteristics of the app, defines and accommodates all the activities that are to be launched. It is also where the launcher activity is defined and being set through. Then build Grados, we say that these ones are auto-generated files which contains compiled SDK versions, build tools versions, application ID, main SDK versions, target SDK versions, version code, and the version name of your application. So if asked to discuss the elements that are found inside the build Gradle, you must be able to state all of this. So what are the main activity file? So when you first launch the app, the key thing that you find is the main activity file. As shown here, if we start with Android Studio, if I open that, and you have your first app, so give it some few minutes. So this is your app, and you can see here inside the activity, I've created several activity: login, main, and then you have register. When you come here, I told you that you'll see either Java or Kotlin. So here, because we are running both Java and Kotlin, so you see it is enabled both to Kotlin plus Java. So you have to click the first one. This is where you'll have all the activities that you have created. So when you have the activity, the layout here, like login, I said it will create the login activity instantly. If you create main activity, it will create the main activity instantly. If you create register, it will create register activity, because this is where you will do the like all the functionalities in the code will be coded here, while all the designs about your app will be done here. How your app looks today, when you open it, it's done here, because this is the UI, the user interface, how beautiful you want it to look like. But the functionalities, movement of those activities, such that when you click login, the activity functionality for login is being done where? Here. So all the activities, functionalities here, while all the UI are being done here. Here is actions. Actions. Actions are being done here. Here is the UI, the interface, how it looks like, will be done there. Then we've talked about within the rest, you have drawables, where I've said you can have your background colors, your icon colors, zote ziko hapa. So you can create them all here. And then things like meat maps, ndio hii hapa. Meat maps, you can do them here. Meat maps, menus, and so on. So that can also be done there. So that can be done there. And then you have values. Values, where I said that it's where you define the texts. So here, all the texts come here. All the colors that define your app comes here. All the themes like background color for your app and so on will be defined there. So you need to know that. And then I've talked about these two areas. We have the Gradle for the project, and then we have Gradle for your app. So, and then other libraries can be grouped here, and also this one to define your SDK locations, and everything can be done there, and other settings. So this, all these places are very, very key, and you need to be able to know which one goes where. So after you've done this, we can be able to start an app. So once you start an app, it will have to open here because it will show your running device here. So you can see what we were talking about, adding your emulator here. And then I was talking about pairing your devices using Wi-Fi. And I said you can select multiple devices. When you have both paired device here with Wi-Fi and the AVD connected. So this is my app, you can see there. So in case of anything errors with UI, so you see it has an issue because of something here, which we can easily fix that, and in the next sessions. So you can see it's building correctly there. Then it has duplicate resources. So duplicate resources, you have to check it, so you can fix that the UI. So tells me that it has to fix this UI, so I can easily sign up. So I have to sign up with that, even if it is with this one. I can easily sign up so that my Gemini can work. So I have logged in there, so successfully configured. So right now, if I come back here, I can do the finish. So I can now ask it to fix with it, or fix with that. So once it is now here, authorized, must be at least. So I say I am. So Gemini for business, or Gemini for individual. I'm going to individual, and then I can be able to activate that. Use all Gemini features, apply to all the projects. Then I can easily do that. So prompt try. So I can say fix the build error. Which is duplicate. In login and register file. So the current type of uh, the systems also have the connectivity with the AI-based tools to support and help work on several things. So you can see that we have fixed the issue that was there, and then we are doing the building. So once the build is complete, to be able, I think the issue was this picture error there, which was duplicate. And now the build is done and it's checking. So still just found the issue. So it has seen that. It's going to work on that. So it's looking for that error, the duplicate resources, and then be able to fix it. So I'm going to fix some few things here, because I duplicated the file for login. For register is what I used in login, because I was just in a hurry that time. So you can just fix that right now. Also in the colors, it's going to remove any text that are missing. And now checking the Android manifest file, be able to find any other error available. So the entire thing here that we spoke about, these areas here, you have to pair your device. If you want to pair your device and so on, you can click pair. Then you'll have these two options, and we say that you go to your developer option, go to wireless debugging, and then pair using QR code. So I'm going to connect my phone with this very fast right now. So I'll just go to settings. I'll go to settings, because I had already converted my phone into developer mode. So I'll go to developer options, then I'll go to debugging section, then I'll go to wired debugging. So I'm going to say pair device with QR code. Then I'm going to scan this QR code. I've already scanned it. Or I can use the pair using this one here, and still it can be able to find, as long as you are in the same network or Wi-Fi, then it will be able to connect. So I'm connecting this. So it's taking with the QR code. Just give it some little time. Little time, little time. So it's pairing my device. I hope I'm using the same network. It's taking longer. So let me use paired code. code. Available Wi-Fi. So after this, then I'll call now the attendant. So follow the process. So fixing the issues there. As they're being fixed, we can proceed to complete with what we have here. I think we were in the main activity here. Hope my screen is showing main activity. So in the main activity, you have these files. Public class main activity, which extends the app compact activity, which means an activity as a subclass of the main activity. Then here you have what is called protected void on create bundle saved instance state. Then super on create saved instance states that you had already started here and bundled them together. Then set the content view. Set the content view is that now you want which activity to be launched or to be opened. That's why you have set content view. So here you define which view do you want to be used during launching. So if it is layout activity main, then it is the main activity that will be opened first. If you want login, then you change here login dot activity r layout dot login underscore activity or activity underscore login. So the activity main refers to the activity main activity file that is located in your REST folder. On create method is one used to figure out when an activity is loaded. So next, now you look at the manifest files. So I think that is now the manifest file that we can be able now to look at in the next phase here. So in the manifest file, because even this one here we are done with it, so you can now have the manifest file here. So I'm fixing those errors a bit also. So within this area here, the main activity file, so the manifest file here, on create, what does the on create method do? It figures out when the activity is loaded. So within the manifest file, we are saying is whatever components that you have developed are being executed there or declared in these manifest XML files. and their directories. So the file works as an interface between the Android operating system and your application. So that's why you have to declare everything inside that manifest file. For instance, the manifest file has this file. So if you want to change the icon, you have to change it here. So map is where your drawables can be added. So if you have an icon for your app, you go to the map folder, which is inside the rest folder, and then you can add your logo. Then also the app label here. So here it will just deal with the app name. But where have you defined this app, the name of your app? It is under the file called string. So go to string, change the app name so that now it can show the name of your app the way you want it to be. Then here, this is the launcher. So what are you launching your app with? So here is the main activity. So if you want, when somebody launches your app, then it opens not the home page, but it opens what is called the login. Then you have to change here and put here .login activity, and then you set the launcher to be true. Then intent filters, all the things about messaging and everything is done here. Connectivity and all those content providers, you do them here. Then all those other activities that you'll create, you'll have to make them come up here before the intent filters. So you come here to the activities, then put all of them there, list all of them before this end of this the end of this clause. So you don't put this clause here. So before this, you move it down, then you can add all those other activities that you have. And then you can now set the one that is for launching. But for the app name here, you have to go to the strings and change the name of the app to what you want. This one here is the icon of your app. If it is Google and you want the Google icon, then you'll be able to put it here. So that's the changes that you can be able to do. Also, if you want to add the background of the app, then you will need to add here another thing called background, so that now you can add it there, background, and then you define it. If you want to use it an image, then you can easily use that. So that is what the Android manifest file can help you to do. Now we have a list of tags which you will use in your manifest file to specify the different Android application components. One is the activity, which contains the elements for the activities, the service, which contains the elements for the service, the receiver, which contains the broadcast receivers, and the provider, which contains the elements for the content providers. So when asked to state the list of the tags, or the tags that are playing a better role in that manifest file, to be able to list for you all the components that you have, then you must be able to state them the way they are, because these are very, very powerful tools that you need to note. Just the way you've seen here under there, you can see here you have activities. Here you have activities. So you'll have uh, providers, you'll have receivers, and you'll have service. So all of them, you'll be able to define them. So one of them here is the activity. For example, you want to connect to the internet and so on. That's a content provider and so on. So you can be able to do all of them inside here. So that is the essence of knowing that. So having known about that, we have another thing called streams. What is a stream? A string file is located in the rest folder, where all the names of buttons, labels, default text, and similar types of strings can be defined or are being declared. So within the string file, this is the format that you have. So you have the resources, You start first of all with a resource because it's a resource, then end with a resource. So here you start without a struct, but then here now you end with a struct. Then you now define all the things that you want, all the texts that you are going to use inside. So you can see that if it is the app name, so go to the app name there so that you can change the name of the app to display here. So you go to this app name, which has been declared inside where? Inside the manifest file. So it will just come to the string and find what is the app name. So the name of your app, you need to define it here. If it is DIT016, name it DIT016. If it is Queer, then you can write there Queer. If you want it to be called My Body, then you write it there My Body. If you want it to be called Equity, KCB, or any app name that you want it, you put it there. Then any other text that you are using, you can put them there. Kama settings, main activities, and so on. So you can name all of them there. So if asked to write a simple code to show the string files, you can easily write that. Start with resource, then put the string name and the app names. String names and all the name of the strings that you want, and then you end that. So that is what you need to do. Then we have the layout files. Layout files are available and they are where you can write all the UIs of your applications when building. And this is how the REST files look like. So mostly you have to start with the layout. So either relative layout, linear layout, constraint layout. So if you ask to state the types of layouts, you must know relative layouts, linear layouts, constraint layouts, and all others. So there are many. Then you will have to define the background here. So if you want the background color to change, you have to define it here before you close with this. So you push this one down, then you can put the Android background color, then you can define it there. And then this is a text view. We have talked about other components, and one of them was views. So whether it is a text view, a label, you're talking about a button, you're talking about anything, card views, zote, all of them are declared inside there. So if it is a text area, that's a text view. If it's a label, you have all of them, so you can put them there. Remember that when you open a layout here, then you have to end it there, or else you'll have the errors. And remember, this XML LNS Android line and these Android tools must be available before you now start working on your app here with the match parent or match parent and so on. And those are now the features. Those are just activities, the design activities, like you want to add the color, text, the text that you want it to be shown, to be displayed, you can see here, padding, margin, margin up, margin down, layout where, all that can be done here. Text hint, this is also all that will now be done in this area here. Then layout files, can be able now to have that, and then you test your app. I think testing, we have talked about that. Connecting your debugger, and then you do now the testing of your app. And that makes the end of today's session now there. So I think I can now rebuild this app so that we can see if there is another error that still exists. I think the issue is this ICT menu gallery. I think this one here that I added here. So still I can be able to do this. I can delete two of them. So let me delete this. I'll add it later because it was for navigation drawer. Those are the ones causing some errors. They were for navigation drawer. Let me delete this one also. So once I've done that, I can now be able to rebuild this, and the error should be done. Drawables res. Let me go to the drawables. So it's icon menus here. So I think it is this one, that PNG especially. Can delete that. Yes. So once I do that, I can be able now to rerun the app. Can rerun the app. Can rerun the app there, so that can be able to see that error going, because I think I added the menus because I wanted to have a navigation drawer. So this app here should now be able to run. And it's going to do all that. That's why work when you are connected to the internet, but you are offline and you are saying that you want to build an app, then you are kidding. You'll be a joker of the year. So always ensure you are connected to the internet so that the build Gradles and everything can be installed. So I'm using the AVG API Pixels 9 Pro, so you can easily check it. So this is how it looks like, and it's using API 36. So you see, that's why I told you the current versions, they work with the highest APIs. If you use a lower one, it will give you a lot of problems. So here is the app that I want it to be launched and to be installed. So it's going to install this app. You see this icon. So this icon here, if you are seeing it well, is inside here. I changed it to the icon launcher here, and the mid map here. See this icon is the one that is opening there, and that's what we say that you have to change it inside where the manifest file. So inside the manifest file here, you can see I changed the icon to icon, which is inside the mid map. So you see now my app has run correctly. Now it's launching there. So built successfully, and there. So can reload so that it can be able to run there. So read running as process 11.0.22. You can be able to go back. So these are the apps. So we can reload. So it says that already running this. So if you open that app, this is what you have. So already it's running. That's why it's already released and added there. So this is the app, the 80016. Can be able to see there. So this one here is the one that we are working on. And you see we changed that, and then we now came here and then say that which one is to be launched. You see here I changed to login. So I have three activities here. I have register, main, and login. And when you look at this, you have login, main activity, and register. So I have main activity here, I have register activity here, and I have login activity here. So all of them working there. And we say that you have to open them inside the activity area. So the icon we have changed the icon here, and then all of that you come here to map map here, and then you can click here and go to add new, or if you have downloaded it, you can just simply copy and paste it here. Just right click and then you can paste the file, and then you'll be able to get that. For instance, I want to change that icon to let's say that I want to change that icon to Quer. Then we can come here to Quer logo, and you can say that this is the logo for Quer. Then you can be able to, or this one here. So if it is this one or this one, so you have to choose the one that is good. So you can download this. You can download this, and I can come here to pictures and just say app logo like that, then save it there. Then I can come back to the app. I can come back to the app to add that change, so that I can come here to the app and now come here. So before I do that, maybe I want to add it. I can come back here, go to where I have downloaded that file here, go to app logo that we have. You can see then the other one is here. So I'm going to come here and take this app logo, copy this. So I'm going to copy it, then come to our app here inside the map map, can say paste. So I'm going to paste it there and say okay. So this is the name. So I can rename it here as just icon 2. Icon 2. Then I can click OK. So when you see here, you're seeing there is icon 2 here. So you have icon 1 and icon 2. So in case I want to change that, I have to change here to icon 2, and I can as well as change this one here to icon 2, so that my app here in this section here can be able to have, when you check the app color here, the app here. This is what we want to change, so that this one here should be able to show that icon of Query. So we are going to do that now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come to Android icon here, and then I'm going to say icon, and then equals to, then I have to say here, where is the icon? It's inside the MIP map. So I'm going to say MIP map, and then you'll be able to see the pop-up coming. So I have to select icon 2. So the same here is what I'll be able to do it also here in the round icon. So I'll be able to come to the round icon here and add that. Then I say MIP map, and then I'll be able to change it to icon 2. So once I change that, and then we save it, then when we reload this, launch this app, should be able now to run that and then install it. So I have an error here. There's an error here. And pick this. So that's the error. I have to clear the bin. Now that I can be able to come here to the chart. Then we can be able to say fix the AVD error. With the API, and then I have to put it there. So I can come to section here. Where I have to clear the caches on the other end. That will resolve the issue. That will resolve the issue. But let me also connect it with the paired device. Paired device. So I think we can end this here so that we can fix any remaining actions later. So I have to start another class from 11. For that case, let it fix there as I sort out the issue with attendance. So we shall proceed from there next time. First of all, fix all the errors that you have for that. So let me first of all fix the logins. So the next class we shall start from 11:45 there. So allow me to allow me to deal with this attendance so that we can be able to go. So I've covered around 3 topics for today, actually around 4, so that you have more time. I've covered until next week in case I'll not be able to have it. So the only work that will be remaining is you working on that to ensure that you have the best, you have the environment solved, so that when we meet next, it's just to begin with the now coding of that app, right? So that's why I've gone very fast to complete with all those other topics that are available there. Allow me to log into my portal first so that I can access your attendance. I think next time I'll change that class to be 5 hours or 6 hours session, so that because with mobile development you don't do it within a short period of time. It entails a lot and demands much of the time. So let's go to mobile programming. Yeah, around 48 people. So I hope everybody is there so that I can go very fast with the attendance. No wastage of time. Be very attentive, please, so that I don't repeat. So I'll start with Ogwela Bill Macau. Absent. Joshua Kavoy. Kindly you say, because my screen is full here, I'm not seeing on the sideways. So if you are chatting there, I can't see it. Joshua Kavoy. Unless I do this again, I come back here wasting of my time. So who is that? That was Ogwela Bill. Is that Ogwela Bill? So just remember that Ogwela Bill is absent. Joshua Kavoy absent. Sin Williams. Sin Williams Agandi. Joseph Momanyi.
Present.
Emmanuel Ndirangu. Brenda Wawira.
Present.
Dianga Amolo. Brian. Bibian Wavinya.
Present.
Dianga. Is Dianga present? Alikuwa hapo. Was that person present? Mike. The person is not there. So no need to struggle myself. If you don't say present, may I move. Dianga Omolo absent. Bibian Wavinya, you have said present. Tandi Sien Ndilai.
Present.
Anna Wanjiru.
Present.
Ninel Nyaboke. Is it Ninel or Nigel? Nyaboke. Nyagaka. Absent. Joy Tuo. You said he was present. Joseph Otieno.
Present.
Bridget Mdoni. Bridget,
Present.
Helen said he has the issue with the mic.
Present.
Silata, Hope, Guya. Sasa Helen, saa hii
Present.
ndio sauti natoka. When I asked a question, you said your mic is not working. Eh? Don't be a funny creature. Consolata, Hope,
Present.
Felix Dida,
Present, sir.
Michael Wanjeri.
It's Michelle. Present.
Oh, Michelle. Amos Gitonga.
Present.
Oyaro James. He was present.
Present.
Valeria
Present.
Mora Bosire. I've not seen her. Comfort Faraja Jirongo.
Present.
Nigel Wanjila. I saw her.
Present.
Alice Ndunga Njuguna. Alice. I've not seen. Raymond Kivinda. Bruce Kantai Conchela.
Present.
Emmanuel Caleb. I saw him. Caleb.
Present.
Christine Wanjungu.
Present.
Mary Ayuma. I didn't see her.
Present.
Mercy Mwende Kiyo. Mercy is not there. Sandra Iman Mora.
Present. Present.
Kevin Muchiri. Utuku. Absent. Resia Chelsea. I have not seen her. Kelvin Tumpein Kipukel.
Present.
Paul Kelly Kialo. I saw her.
Present.
Oh, I saw him. Candy.
Present.
I saw him. James Otieno. I didn't see this man, but James Otieno. Mike Lincoln. Anthony Mbutia. Mugo. Mwaura.
Present. Present.
Present.
Dominic Ngunjiri.
Present.
Mercy
Yeah,
Mora.
Present.
Ian.
Excuse sir, I'm present.
Who?
Anthony.
Oh. Ian Juma. Mercy Mora yuko. Is Mercy Mora present?
Present.
Okay.
Present.
Christian Muluti.
Present.
John Sunkuli. Abol Abraham. I saw him. Makur. I think I saw. Gladwin Imani Odera. Didn't see. Kipruto Stefan Towet. Kipruto. Done. So we meet at 11:45 for the next session. This one is absent. Have to print this. Go take a rest a little bit, take water, come back. Today is 27th. Sorry. May. Sorry. So goodbye. We meet in the next session. Well, goodbye. Let's see each other next time.